everyone, and welcome to the PCSS Connection. I'm your host, Buddy Pearson, the Communications and Marketing Supervisor for Putnam County Schools. You know, at the monthly meeting of the Putnam County School Board, an I Make a Difference award is usually given to someone who definitely makes a difference in our school system. The most recent award goes to Darla Warren, an instructional assistant at Algood Middle School. Darla was nominated by Melissa Cherry, a counselor at Algood Middle School. And joining us now is Darla Warren and Melissa Cherry. And ladies, thanks so much. And Darla, I got to say, the expression on your face the other night at the school board meeting, where it was priceless. I mean, you just kind of like put your head in your hands, and it had to be, well, for one, a big surprise.
It was a huge surprise. I was completely caught off guard. The fact that the entire faculty and staff at Algood Middle School kept it from me, because I'm usually just right in on everything. Just the fact that they kept it a surprise, I think it was the biggest shock. I had no idea what was happening. No idea.
Now, Melissa, you wrote a great letter to the school board, and you and Rusty got up there. And what did it mean to see the surprise on her face?
Well, Darla is not someone who desires accolades or wants the attention for the things that she does for our school. And so we felt like that element of surprise was important to us, just to really honor her for what she does in our building. And the surprise part just was really the icing on the cake for us. I'm not sure she loved it, but we loved just really surprising her and making her feel special that night.
That was great. And you know, just looking over the letter, all right, so a few things that you're involved in, ISS program, cafeteria monitor, implemented food sharing system, backpacking food program for AMS, Queen of Graduation. You also coordinate the Veterans Breakfast and Senior Reception. Oh, and by the way, you work some concessions in the basketball stand. So you just got a few things going on there.
I also help with the 21st Century After School program. So there's a few things. The SHARE program that it was actually started by a former assistant that is no longer with us. But what we do in the cafeteria, we saw quite a bit of food being wasted, and which is, you know, I don't like to see. I hate to see food wasted. But what the kids have all learned, where Miss Darla's share table is, we call it the share table. If they get a carton of milk or a carton of juice, and you know maybe they brought a water bottle from home and they're not going to drink it, don't throw it away. If you didn't open it, bring it to me. Right. And I promise you, someone wants it. Oh. Someone needs it. Yeah. So that's our share table. And then all the other activities that we do at Algood Middle School, I just sort of walked into it when I was hired. This is my 10th year actually as an assistant. A lot of that I just sort of inherited it as I became more involved, and it just sort of, now those are my babies. So those are my activities. I'm just, like I said, this is my 10th year as an assistant. I've subbed for 6 years before that, but I was always at Algood Middle. Algood Middle is just near and dear to my heart. So,
well, Melissa, what prompted you to nominate her this time around, or you know, even write the letter?
Well, Darla really stands out to me as a relationships person. So anytime you see her in the building, she is reaching out to students in one way or another, whether that be through the ISS program or through the food sharing or just through conversations in the hallway. I can't tell you the number of times she has come to me concerned about a student that she doesn't necessarily have contact with throughout the day, but she noticed something about that student. So at Algood, you know, we have a strong emphasis on relationships. Sure. Because we feel like good relationships have to be in place before the rigor of the content can be taught. And so we see relationships, then we have the rigor of the content, and then we see those results, whether that be in TCAP scores or, you know, positive results with students. And so Darla really fits into that piece of relationships. And so she really stood out to me as a person who just works all day long, well beyond the school day, building those relationships with students, with staff, with parents. And so her job is very important to us. You know, she's a teacher's assistant, but she's really much more than that in our building.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
Great.
Thank
you.
And
what made you want to work at Algood to begin with? I mean, why get into education?
Well, actually, I came from the banking industry. I was working at a bank, and that's where I met my husband at. And when our second child came along, it was like, you know, maybe I could stay home for a little while. Then our third child came along, and I was volunteering so much. I was always at Jill Ramsey. I said the other night at the meeting, when Jill became principal at the new Algood Elementary at the time,
Right.
she needed to put together a PTO. And of course, here I am. No. She got with myself and Angie Collins, and we formed a PTO, and I volunteered all the time. I was always, it was always around the middle school. My children were there. And at one point, my husband was just like, if you're going to be there all the time, you should get paid for it. Okay, he was joking, of course, but that's how I got into subbing. A former bookkeeper got me involved in subbing that we had there, Becky Raines. She was the bookkeeper at that time. I started subbing. And then at one point, a position came open, Mr. Martin, and I had been there so much, he was like, well, would you be interested? I mean, you're here all the time anyway. But we went through the process of hiring me and interviewing me, and he's like, well, I just feel like you can just walk right on into the job. So
Yeah.
I've been there ever since.
That's
So,
awesome.
and I love it. I have formed wonderful relationships with those kids.
Well, I think it's
So.
evident that you really love what you do. That kind of goes without saying. Now, Melissa, how long have you been at Algood?
I have been at Algood since 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, so a long time.
So you guys have known each other
A
for
long
a
We
while?
have.
Yeah.
Yes, long time. So
We've
Well-
done lots of things together.
Really?
we have been involved in a lot of
We've
things.
just worked on lots of projects together.
Yes.
She's been my right-hand woman for a lot of those things.
School bash and all that good stuff, all the things.
Yes.
We do a lot of stuff, so.
Yes.
And even though you do a lot of things and you're really involved, you really don't like the spotlight, do you?
No.
I'm really surprised she's still speaking to me at this point.
We could drag her on.
So like I said, I was ready for a ball game the other night. I had like
You
my
were in game
t-shirt,
mode, yeah.
tennis shoes. I was just like, what's happening? She turned around and looked at me, and I was like, what is she doing? What's happening? And then it was like everybody just went
Priceless.
silent, okay? It was a just, thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean,
It's
wow.
well deserved.
Thank you. So.
You see other parents get involved. What do you tell them? Because this really came about because of your involvement as a parent. So do you have any advice for the parents, not just Algood, but any of the parents that's in the Putnam County school system?
Advice. Well, talk to your kids. I mean, even with when I'm in ISS, and when I tell people I'm the ISS person, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
But that's actually a good contact for me. I get to know those kids that are in ISS, and maybe they were just having a bad day, or they come into me and they're angry, they're mad, and I shouldn't be in here, and I'm just like, by the time they leave me at the end of the day, they're like, we're like best buds, and they'll see me, a week later. Hey, can I come to ISS again and be with you? It's just, sometimes they just need someone to listen to them and be there for them. And it's like, okay, I know you're angry. Let's not take it out on Miss Darla, but let's calm down a minute and just, let's just take a breath. We all have bad days. Let's just sit here and be quiet for a little while. With my own children, they always thought I was like a helicopter mom. I was just I was always, where you at? What you doing? Who you with? Okay, I'll admit it. But talking to kids, if you give them some respect, they will give you some respect. I mean, I respect the kids that come to me. I respect the kids. I'm in the cafeteria. That's my time with them. I'm not in a classroom with them all the time like a teacher is, but the time that I'm with these kids, I get to know these kids.
Yeah.
And they know they can come to me if they need something. Oh, I'm going to go talk to Miss Darla. And I just love on them.
And that's
They
what I
just-
was going to say too, that respect is
Yeah.
mutual.
Right.
Right.
The kids do respect her. We don't have many behavioral problems in the cafeteria. It's very
We don't.
rare that we're called to the cafeteria to deal with those type things. But it's because of that respect that's been built in there.
Sure.
Just, that mutual respect between the students and the staff. It's just, it all goes back to relationship building.
Yeah.
So I feel like we really excel at that at Algood.
Yeah.
I love them.
Parent engagement.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I know it's crazy, it's hectic. I've got 3 kids. We went the whole route of, playing ball and dance, and it was soccer and t-ball and little league and all this stuff. We did it all. There was days where I thought, whew, okay, I need to sit down a minute. But like last night, my daughter, my youngest, is in college. I was at the dining room table, I was doing some work on the computer. The fact that she came in and wanted to talk to me, she just sat down and we had a fantastic conversation. She wanted my opinion about some things, and I thought, wow, I'm going to miss this,
Right.
But just talk to him. I know everybody's busy, but sometimes they just need a sounding board. They need somebody just to listen to me. And, when the kids come to ISS, they're, maybe they've had a bad day, and I'll say, well, tell me what's going on with you today. And a lot of times they'll open up to me. And, I
You're
hear.
probably able to share that with Melissa.
We
Yes.
talk a lot about those
Yes,
things.
and if I feel like there's something that I'm not sure how to handle, or maybe they told me something, I will go directly to either Melissa or Lara Bush, and I'll say, well, could you maybe follow up on this? I'm not qualified to handle this, but I know that they are. Sure. And I've gone to Melissa several times with some of our students just to express something that I've heard or something I'm thinking, and she usually will take it into hand for me. So.
Melissa Cherry, counselor at Algood Middle School, and Darla Warren, an instructional assistant who got the I Make a Difference award from the school board this month. Thank you, ladies, so much for what you do and making a difference. And it's obvious that making a difference is a team effort. I mean,
Very much
obviously,
is.
yes, you do a lot of stuff, but I mean, I know you're the first to say it's part of a team.
Yes, it's a building effort.
It takes us all. It takes all of us. The fact that they kept it quiet from me,
That's a team effort right there.
it was a team effort. Thank you for having
It's a
us.
miracle.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
Well, the Algood Middle School boys basketball team had quite a run in the postseason. The Redskins won the county tournament and the region tournament and advanced to the Elite Eight of the state tournament before losing in the sectional finals in a close one. And joining us now is the head coach of the Algood Redskins, Layne Bussell. And Layne, congratulations on a great season. I know you came up a little shorter than you wanted to go, but still a great season.
Well, I appreciate it, buddy. It was, it was hard for us there at the end. We were just, a play or two away from moving on to that Final Four of the state tournament, which was the goal of the year was, but, just fell a little short. But I was proud of our boys and their effort and everything that they did this year and accomplished.
Now, obviously, did you know at the beginning of the year that this was going to be a team that was special enough to make it this far?
Well, actually, when this group walked in the doors at Algood in 5th grade, Coach Bunder and I said, this group is different than any group we've ever had before, and we knew they were built for that in the future. Their basketball IQ, the way they carried themselves, the way they just knew the game was not unlike anything I've seen before as a coach at that age. And so we knew that we had something special day one when they walked into the gym.
And, a lot of times people don't really know how good middle school basketball teams can be. It's obvious you guys don't get the pub that high schools do.
Right.
And, usually you don't see kids until they get to high school.
Right.
But to see you at the county tournament and to be able to watch the teams and just see how well your team played and the cohesiveness and some of the talent there, it was, it's like, these guys got a chance.
Absolutely. And something that, to touch on what you said a little bit about how special they were and why they played so cohesive as a unit on the floor, our core unit of our first 7 players are like best friends. Mm-hmm. On and off the court, they hang out with each other all the time. They got each other's backs. That they play for each other, and that's rare to do, and especially in boys basketball. It's very rare to see boys who are for each other and not out for individualistic goals and things like that. But they wanted to see each other succeed and each other win more than anything.
You had to go to Lawrenceburg, which is, it's like 2.5 hours away.
It's a little over 2.5 hours, yes.
Yeah, to have to go there a couple of times in a week. You guys played in the first round of the sectionals there, and then you made it to the sectional championship. Mm-hmm. And just talk a little bit about that whole journey, that whole postseason, that kind of started in that county tournament. Sure.
So it's a grind, obviously, you just said. It's taxing on the players and us as coaches. But it started, the Upper Cumberland Conference is tough. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy conference, and we've got some great coaches at Avery Trace, Upperman, Prescott, DeKalb, White County, all of our conference.
Yeah.
And they know our players very, very well. And so that was very difficult. Some of the defenses and things they threw at us actually helped us succeed later on and challenged us to be prepared for anything that was thrown at us. And then we moved on after that. We played Liberty Creek, which is from the Gallatin, Hendersonville area. And we played T.W. Hunter, which is from that area. And we actually scheduled them the regular season knowing that region possibility was there.
Yeah.
Sectional possibility was there. And we spent a lot of time watching film and as a team, as coaching staff, and dissecting what other teams did and trying to find our best game plan to make sure we were successful. And some of the most entertaining parts of our journey was taking bus rides to Lawrenceburg in 2.5 hours with all the basketball players, all the cheerleaders and pep, just all the people there to support us. And that's something that I was blown away with. 2.5 hours on a Monday night, and seeing, so many teachers and people from our community to come out and make that drive and support us. I thought that was very special.
Yeah, it seems like the Algood crowd has really been behind you guys all the way. I mean, the red out and the blackout, I mean, just the different things in the postseason. And then one of the cool stories, you're not the cheerleading coach or the sponsor, but to see the Algood cheerleaders cheer for the Prescott South Lady Bulldogs before your game.
Yes.
I mean, that people have just been going nuts about that, and what a great show of sportsmanship that there's been.
It was very, very odd because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so, they had a student section of probably about 25 students behind the bench, and they all had green and blue pom-poms. And some of them had left them laying there, and it's probably last few minutes of the game, and I just talked to my team. I walked out, and I was standing right there where the cheerleaders would typically stand.
Yeah.
And a couple of cheerleaders go, "Coach Bussell, we've got pom-poms. We're going to cheer." I said, "Go right ahead. Go for it. It'll be fun." And so they all started cheering. And something that to add on to that, after the girls' game was over, all the Prescott girls lined up with our cheerleaders and helped run us out and high-five us and wish us good luck, which was really cool of them, too, to support us kind of like our cheerleaders supported them.
That is. And now Prescott South Lady Bulldogs moving on to the Final Four, playing this weekend, Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, yes, sir, that's correct.
With a chance to win a state championship. Obviously, we wish them the best of luck, and hopefully have Rachel Vann on here next week talking about her season, win, lose, or draw.
Absolutely.
So how long have you been coaching in the Putnam County school system?
This is year 12.
Year 12.
And I've been, around the block. I've been at Prescott, I've been at Upperman, I've been at Cook High School, now I'm at Algood.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of experience with, different sides, 5th and 6th grade boys, 5th and 6th grade girls, 7th and 8th grade, high school. I've done a little bit of everything. So it's been a fun journey, and lots of different people and players, families, other coaches that I have met and, made great connections with through the years.
What are some of the challenges of coaching at the middle school level?
Well, that's a great question. Something that is, I guess the resources would be one. I feel like a lot of high school programs have things like shooting machines, weight rooms, things like that, that we don't really have access to. And I would love, and funny thing is in Algood, we're now starting to get a weight room and get workout facilities to start introducing our kids to lifting and getting stronger at a younger age. Another one is, man, it's just so hard for us with film, scouting reports, right? And in high school, that's a huge thing. So we don't have a whole lot of that from other teams. Like us, we film everything, we watch everything. Yeah. But other teams, and I was trying to find information about Thompson Station. I emailed probably 10 or text 10 different coaches.
Right.
We don't film anything. We don't have film. And so it's, little things like that make a big difference. In high school, I sent a message to one coach and you would get, 5 different films from, 1 or 2 coaches. So I would say scouting stuff and film and learning about other teams, and then facility stuff, workout weight rooms, things like that.
Right. I think working at the high school level, it really helped you when you came back to middle school because, you kind of seen those things.
Absolutely.
And, now you have a kind of a new mindset when you're coaching middle school.
100%. Seeing what it takes to run a successful high school program and the things that you have to do for that to happen is 100% helped me out tremendously.
So when you were growing up, when you were going to school, did you want to be a coach? Is that what you wanted to do?
Well, I wanted to be involved in education in some way. I knew I loved going to school every day. I wanted to be there. I didn't miss a whole lot. I'd be ill, sick. I'd still show up every day. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
I love sports, and I was never a fantastic athlete. I played sports my whole life.
Sure.
Funny thing, I would play at the cages at Tech, or I'd go to the fitness center and play pickup stuff. I played pickup all my entire life, and I'm 38 years old and I still do. I'm lucky enough to still be able to play today. But I just have that competitive spirit, man. And I love giving back to the kids and forming that bond and that relationship with them that will never break.
Yeah.
And being able to step back in there and still have those competitive juices at 30, it keeps me young, you know. And then especially this group of boys, man, they're a really, really special group, and we were really close and really tight, and that's what it was about for me. It's like forming relationships with people,
Yeah.
giving back to the community, and keeping that competitive spirit of basketball that I've always loved as a kid. And you know, my brother, he played a little bit of high school basketball at Cookeville, and I remember I was probably, I don't know, 19, 20 years old. And Kevin Bray's coaching. I'm watching him run plays, and I'm sitting there. I was like, man, I know exactly what's about to happen, and just the nuances and the chess match of
Yeah.
the game and the thought process you have to do. I knew at a young age that was something that I wanted to do.
Now, where'd you go to school?
I went to Cookeville High School.
Okay.
I was there from 1999 to 2003. And luckily, I wasn't blessed enough to have the athletic ability to play for Coach Bray or Coach Baker, who was there
Yeah,
before me.
right.
But I watched it. I was at every game. I knew, like I said, the sets and everything that they were trying to accomplish on
Yeah.
the floor. But it just wasn't, athletic genetics were not blessed for me. So
So would you say Coach Bray has been an influence? Is he the biggest basketball influence that you've had?
actually, the person who probably got me started the most into coaching was Willie Maddox. If you
Okay.
know
Yeah, I
Willie,
know Willie. Yeah.
he coached at Prescott for
He
a long
did.
time, and he asked me my very first year teaching. He's like, "Hey, will you come out and help me and be my assistant?" And I said, "Absolutely, I would love to." And he really just instilled a lot of coaching aspects and things to me that I never really considered. And because he had been at the high school level, he had been at the middle school level, and he knew a lot. And he's someone that really influenced me a lot into coaching my very first year.
Is he coach anywhere now?
He doesn't. He stepped away from it, and we still talk occasionally
Yeah.
basketball, and like I played rec league stuff as
Right.
a young kid, and the two people I'm about to name are big people in the community that kind of showed me a love for the game and how to treat people and how to act. And Tom Savage, which Tom,
Yeah.
I'm sure, and Mike Campbell. They were two
Yeah.
guys I had as rec league coaches, and the way they did things were the right way, and they were great guys and would do anything for anybody, and they kind of instilled that in me as well.
So you're still relatively young. Where do you see your coaching career going? Do you have the aspirations of coaching at the high school level? Are you totally satisfied at middle school? What do you want to do?
That's a great question. A goal of mine would be to be a high school head coach, a boys high school head coach, or at some point in time. If it comes, it comes. It doesn't. I'm very happy where I'm at Algood. I'm lucky with a very great staff, great principals, great colleagues, awesome kids. And Algood's I call it a hidden gem. Like
Yeah.
people don't really realize how great it is there, but it's a really special place to be. It'd be hard for me to ever leave there. But I do have that thought in the back of my mind. If something came open and was available, I'd love to do it. But
Because you took over for kind of a legendary coach who had been there for a long time. Well, at least they had a
yes,
coach.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Steve Jones had been there
Steve
for
Jones.
25 years,
Yeah,
probably.
a long time.
I mean,
He coached Judah Akers.
He did,
and
he
a lot
did.
of those players.
something funny that Coach Trey Bundert, my assistant, and I've been talking about recently. There's been maybe 3 coaches in the year that Algood Middle School has been open. The Algood School, I guess you would say back then,
Right.
because it was K-8. Because Steve was there, and I think Steve took a little bit of a break, according to Trey, and Steve Haggard took over for a year or two.
Yep.
And we were working on like a legacy project and trying to find some things to, I don't know, just give back to the kids who played there and like make something special in our locker room or in the hallways of Algood. Trey has kind of taken on a legacy project because that's his. Coach Bundert loves Algood. He's Algood through and through, and he's trying to make it a better place through doing something like that, reaching out to Steve and finding some information out. So it's pretty neat.
That's awesome. So now, what classes do you teach?
I teach 7th grade English, and I've taught 7th grade English basically my entire career. English is a tough subject to teach.
Yeah.
I try to bring my personality and excitement and fun for education into the classroom, but sometimes, and with today's generation, it's hard to get kids to be excited about writing and reading.
Yeah.
And so I try to find ways to relate to them and form relationships and make them want to work hard to care about their education.
Yeah.
And it's not easy because with technology, computers, television, YouTube, TikTok, all the things, there's a lot more things more exciting to the kids than reading a book, So it's tough some days, but it's a challenge that I like accepting every day.
Yeah. Now, there's one student at Algood that I know you're pretty familiar with. It's your son. He goes
Yes.
to Algood. So how is that? Tell us about him.
Well, he's a wonderful kid. I've been glad that I've got to sit there for 4 years and watch him grow up. He's in 8th grade. He's sitting back here watching us
Yeah.
right now. He's actually part of the basketball program too, not by choice, but more me forcing him.
Yeah.
He films all of our games for us, and he's our film coordinator.
Awesome.
But it's just been really cool to watch. I feel like 5th grade through 8th grade are some of the most important years of your schooling
are,
career.
yeah.
And it's been really great for me to watch him grow and be there for him and see him every day because, not every parent, father, mother, whoever gets to see their son every single day or daughter every single day, every single minute. And I can walk down the hallway at any point in time, give my son a hug, tell him I love him, and it's been a lot of fun just to be there and that experience. I'm sad that it's over because, when this basketball season ended, I'm like, man, my son's leaving 8th grade too, and all these boys are leaving. I'm so close to it. I mean, that locker room talk was tough.
Yeah.
It was very tough, a very, very emotional thing. And I'm just blessed to have those 4 years with him and these boys and all these things. And I just tried to live in the moment and be present and take it all in.
And I'm sure there's some of the younger players that's coming up, and they're going to have their chance to play and shine and
Absolutely.
do some of those things, accomplish some of those goals.
Absolutely. It's been really cool because I feel like Algood's kind of different than other places. Mm-hmm. When kids come in to us at 4th and 5th, when they come in from 4th grade to 5th grade, they typically, not always, like the group we had, they don't always have that experience. Like they haven't been playing travel ball. They haven't been playing a lot of basketball. So when they come to us, it's like they're a blank slate. They don't have bad habits. They don't have any habits, because they've not played a lot of basketball.
Right.
So it's cool for us to instill the things that we think is important, the really basic fundamental concepts of basketball for them to be successful. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun watching those kids go from in 5th grade when they aren't able to break a full court press. I remember this year, some of the 5th grade, we walk out of our first game, it's like, guys, how many of you have seen a full court press before in a game until today? And we had about 9 players, and only 3 of them raised their hand.
Wow.
And so it's like, you think about those things and where they are. We always talk about, think about where you are right now and where we want to be. And we want to grow and get better every single time we step on the floor, whether it's practice, a game, whatever. And like I remember last year, the group we have is in 6th grade. Mm-hmm. They lost to every team in the county 20-plus points every single time.
Wow.
It was never close. Yeah. This year they come back in 6th grade. It's competitive every single night. Yeah. And so the growth is there. It's fun watching them go from that, where they don't really know a lot and not have a lot of experience, to where they come back a year later and we're competing and playing against teams that were beating us pretty handily like the year before. So
when you're not keeping up with your son or coaching basketball, do you have any other hobbies, anything else you like to do outside of school and basketball?
Buddy, that's a great question because the old saying that there used to be T-shirts, used to be a YouTube channel, ball is life. Yeah. And for me,
ball is life.
Ball is life because, our season ended Monday. Yeah. Coach Matt Farrell and I, Saturday afternoon at Algood Middle School, Tennessee Rush girls basketball tryouts, and so I'm right back into it.
There you go.
So it never ends, man. Travel ball is open and started, and we're starting that up, and I will be on the road all the time starting probably in March and going till June or July, and that's just the life that I live. We talk about hobbies, and that's mine.
Does Algood play in some camps during the summer?
They do. Typically, the first 3 weeks in June or so, 2 or 3 weeks in June, we have summer camps. We start practice we have practice the last couple of weeks in May, have tryouts and all that. Practice for a couple of weeks, go to some summer camps, and summer camp for us is a really, really great experience because we go to places like Lipscomb's camp and we see we played some teams that we saw in the state tournament or teams that are still playing in the AAA state tournament to challenge us to get better. So summer camp is a really, really good time for kids to learn and grow and to be pushed and to get better.
Awesome. Layne Bussell, the boys basketball coach at Algood Middle School. Great season. Congratulations. And, man, we're looking forward to some more good stuff at Algood.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you having me on. I've really enjoyed it.
All right. Well, we have a black belt champion in our school system. Yes, Adrian Cojocaru. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. A 5th grader at Avery Trace. So you're big into karate. You went to this big tournament in Destin, Florida. It was the Professional Martial Arts Conference National Championships, and you did pretty good, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
So what exactly did you compete in, and how well did you do?
I competed in creative forms where, if you do a cartwheel, then it'd be, classified as extreme. So you can't, have your feet go over your head, or else then you're disqualified. And I competed in creative weapons. It's the same rules.
Creative weapons. That sounds pretty cool. What all is that? What all is involved in that?
You just you have your own weapons. I did commas. They have a blade, and then it's a curved blade, and then it's a handle, but it was metal.
Did your mom let you play with those? Go ahead, I'm just kidding.
At home, no, but she has me practice at 4:30 till the time of class
Yeah,
at the studio, and I competed in traditional forms and traditional weapons, where it's more of a slow pace.
yeah.
And then I competed in fighting. And I'd say I did overall pretty well.
Well, let's see, right here it says you were the national champion in the 10 and 11-year-old black belt point sparring division, and you were a runner-up in the 11-year-old open rank sparring division, so I'd say that's pretty good. Yeah. So, national champion. How's it feel to be a national champion?
It feels good.
Now, when did you get into karate? How long have you been doing karate?
I joined karate in 2016, so I've been doing it for around 7 to 8 years.
Wow, and how old are you?
Now I'm 11, but I started when I was 3.
Wow, you started young. And where do you train at around here?
Jack Scott United Karate Studios.
Okay.
It's near Pelicans, the snow cone place.
Oh, yeah. Know Pelicans very well. You like to go there?
I used to. But
Now, I also heard that you won another national championship earlier in the summer. Where was that at, and how did that go?
I think it was the World Games, and it was really big.
World Championship, yeah.
We trained, me, Lily, and Lila, and Miss Leah trained for like 6 months prior, and there was a big opening ceremony where before we did the opening ceremony, our coach, Lily might recall this, but he said, he asked us if we want to be funny, and he said, Red Rover, send Great Britain over, because Great Britain was our like big enemy.
Okay. And did you guys do good against them?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what do you like best about karate?
I like how it's more, people don't judge you based on your looks, they judge you based on your performance. And it's more like a kind of a friend group at Jack Scott. And it's not like only I do this and then only Miss Leah does this thing and anybody else just does their own thing. But it's more like everybody helps each other with everything.
Okay. Now, this is your first year of middle school at Avery Trace. Where did you go to school before that?
Capshaw Elementary School.
Yeah. How do you like middle school?
It's not much different. There's like, the teachers are more different in ways that their personality is, it's different from elementary, because elementary, they were kind of just nurturing you, but in middle school, they're more straight to the point.
Yeah. Now, how long do you plan on competing in karate? Do you have some goals that you want to accomplish?
I want to earn a 10th degree black belt, and nobody's done that yet so
Really?
far.
So you'd be the first one to do that? Yeah. Do you have any more competitions coming up?
Yes, a lot. I do like 15 to 17 tournaments, and
Really?
we have one next week, I think.
Where's that at?
Memphis. It's Memphis Open. And last year, if you won grands, you got a big guitar, and Lily earned one of those. So.
Oh, nice. Now, who's Lily?
Lily Burnett is Miss Leah's daughter. She tested for black belt with me in June of 2023.
That's one of your training partners? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you had to say that there's one thing that you like best about the competing aspect, like what's your favorite event that you really like to compete in?
I really like to compete in traditional forms because whenever you're doing your slow pace, you can really show off your stances, and it gives you more time to breathe than creative because you're going super fast and you only get like a few seconds whenever you're yelling. But traditional forms, you're pausing and you get to breathing all the time.
Yeah. And now, you obviously you train quite a bit, so how much do you train during the week?
Usually per day, 2 to 4 hours a day, and I trained every day of the week except for Saturday and Sunday.
Is there anything else that you like to do besides karate?
I like to play tennis and I like to go on hikes, but I also like to play VR, which is fun.
Do you do karate on VR?
No, like there's this tennis game that I want, but if I can convince my mom to give me like $24 to buy it, then I would.
Win a couple of more championships. Maybe you can coerce her into doing that. Yeah. All right. Adrian Cojocaru, who is an Avery Trace fifth grader. He's a national champ. He's a world champion. He's an awesome young man, and you better watch out because you can put some karate stuff on somebody, can't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have you ever watched The Karate Kid?
Yes.
Really?
They broke the leg in half.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for being with us, man. Hey, nice hoodie, though, you got there.
Thank you.
Awesome. And that's going to do it this week for the PCS Connection. You can always check out all the PCS Connection podcasts on our YouTube channel. We also put them up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But until next time, I'm Buddy Pearson saying God bless.